Libra 8. A blazing fireplace in a deserted home. Now, fire really points to passion. We burn with enthusiasm, the motivation to create something. But there are very many different forms of fire. We can use fire to light a cigarette. We can have wildfires that are destructive. We can burn rubbish with fire. But this isn't any of those. This is a fireplace at home. Now, this has implications. We need tinder and kindling to start a fire, firelighter and a match. We need a supply of wood, so we've probably got a woodshed and an axe and a supplier of wood. So somewhere there's a forest and a chainsaw. All involved for us to have this fire in our fireplace. And it's blazing, big, fiery, when nobody's there. Now this indicates one of two things, possibly both. We would create the illusion of being at home in order to protect ourselves from invasion, burglars. And we would also set the scene for our own homecoming. If we're gone away for a short period of time, we come back and it's lovely to have a fire burning in the grate. So we've got the image here very deeply of having a home and protecting the home. The woodshed and the supply, that goes with having a home. And the guardianship, that's something to protect. We're doing our best here to guard and protect and invest in something that's deeply important to us. And this investment, now moving away from the fire metaphor into our life, this takes the form of people, mainly, and activities with them, and tools and equipment to enjoy being with them and doing the work involved when we are with them. So we're talking about how we are invested in our lives, specifically anchoring ourselves into the security of a home. It's not by any means guaranteed that we will have a home. Even during childhood, the politics of parenting and so on and so forth can very often mean that the child doesn't actually feel comfortable, doesn't feel like they've any right to express themselves and feel safe where they are. It can be the case, and if you're going to experience home at all, you're very likely to experience it first in childhood. And yet, not everybody does that. And later in life, when the time comes to make your own home for your own family, the images that you have of your childhood home come out, and you probably enact them. And if not what you had, then what you wanted. This home building thing is development of loyalty. We're loyal to our homes. That's where we come back each night. And that's where we sort of spend most of our life. And that's where we spend the time with people that we regard as the most important in our lives. The partner, the children, the wider circle of perhaps relations and friends, who all center in some way around this anchored home. So what we're doing is guarding what we have invested in, and we're investing in loyalty. And this gives us the sense of such a powerful rootedness in reality that we can grow. The image of a tree is helpful here. Without the solid place to root itself, a tree can't go anywhere. But if you actually give a tree the home it needs, it reaches its roots into the earth and it draws its sustenance from the earth. Well, we do that from our homes. And if we just create a home which is basically a room which has got a bed and a kitchen, equivalent, and that's it, one room, which we don't love, we just find useful because it's centered where we want to do our work, then we're focusing our attention on something else. We're not focusing the attention on our home. And this isn't worth protecting, really. We don't light the blazing fire in a bedsit. We just don't do it. And we don't really care too much about protecting the home itself, maybe the things within it, but not the home. So that sense of protecting, guarding, doing work to look after the source of security and stability in your life, that's missing in a bedsit and present in a home. There's a difference. Now, the difference that makes the difference is to do with the commitment we have to a vision in life. If we've got a very strong vision of who we are and how that gets to be expressed most fully in our plans, in our intentions, in our future, then we will find that without a home, that vision is incomplete. That's the way it is. We are loyal as beings. We tend to make less of it at certain times in our life and more of it at other times. When children, young children especially, are present, then loyalty is in a very strong relief. But when we have no children, or the children are growing and they have their own life, then the loyalty to our family feeling is not so easy to maintain. However, if we have a vision of a completeness of being, then we will find that that must include the loyalty that we feel to family and home. And along with that goes responsibility. We have to shoulder the responsibility for taking care of that to whom and to which we are responsible. If we have children, then we need to take responsibility for their education and their health and their well-being. Even if we get married, then we have responsibility for each other's problems and needs and so on. That's what it means. And the level at which we can take responsibility is the measure of our worth as a person in many ways. Because if we don't take responsibility for what we have passionately envisioned and commit ourselves loyally to hold, if we don't take responsibility for that, then it's lost. The implication with the blazing fire is that we're coming back to a home. It's going to hold on, going to be there, even if we take our attention away for a while. But if we actually move our attention away from our loyalty, our responsibility, and we just drift, when we come back, the fireplace will be cold. This blazing fire blazes for an instant of time. It doesn't last very long before it's gone. And this is true of our home and our family. We can leave for a while, go on holiday and even have an adventure, and yet we've got to come back, and we've got to come back soon, and we've got to maintain our loyalties responsibly, or we lose them.